Okay, I might catch some flack for this because one of these movies have a huge fan base. And including them in the battle for the worst might piss some people off. But fuck it. Today, in the battle for the worst, we're putting the Blair Witch Project up against Paranormal Activity. Which one is the worst?
Let's get ready to rumble!
So the Blair Witch Project has a really simple story. The Blair Witch Project follows a group of filmmakers traveling to a forest located in Maryland to make a documentary about the Blair Witch legend. The Blair Witch Project is kind of like the behind-the-scenes look at a documentary. In the other corner, we have Paranormal Activity. A couple moves to a new home in the suburbs, and eventually they begin to sense a dark presence in their home. They begin to undergo psychological torture by this presence that makes them question what is happening. Honestly, I made that sound way better than what it actually is. Both stories are incredibly boring. On one hand, we have some pimple-faced kids shooting a shitty documentary, and on the other, we have a ghost that is so lame it decides to fling furniture around instead of actually doing something scary. With that being said, Paranormal Activity wins in the story department, barely. It tends to have a premise that has more potential to it.
God damn it.
Acting, a category neither film deserves the privilege of having. I can list the players involved in these films, but you're probably going to respond with, who? The acting in these films can be best described as amateur. However, that adds to the style of the films because they're supposed to be real people. So which one has the better acting? Point goes to Paranormal Activity. Again, Paranormal Activity barely edges ahead of the Blair Witch Project. None of these actors are going to win an Oscar, that's for sure. Yeah, we kept that really short.
Don't you look at me like that. You promised me you weren't going to mess with that stuff.
No, I promised you I wasn't going to buy a Ouija board.
Oh,
I didn't buy a Ouija
you
board.
knew exactly what I meant.
I borrowed a
How
Ouija board.
dare you? You knew exactly what I meant. I said don't mess with that stuff because it scared me. What do? You go out and you get the best looking fucking Ouija board I've ever seen and you put it in the middle of our living room? Explain that to me.
This is where things get interesting. Blair Witch and Paranormal Activity use similar techniques to tell their stories. Using the reality approach, they avoided of the bells and whistles that a typical Hollywood movie has. The techniques used by both of these films makes it hard to decide which one is better in that regard. However, using the context of the stories, I think we can decide which one had a better technical approach for said story. In Paranormal Activity, the boyfriend records everything, and when I say everything, I mean everything. At night, he leaves his camera with the world's greatest battery life running to capture the house at night. It seems like a good idea and allows the filmmakers to get away with having a small budget. But is it necessary? Personally, I don't think so. Paranormal Activity can very well be told in the conventional way without a problem. The Blair Witch Project is another story. This film will be an empty turd without the found footage effect. The technique is completely necessary to tell the story that they were going for. Point goes to Blair Witch Project. So we're at 2-1 here with Paranormal Activity in the lead. However, it all comes down to our next category, as it's anyone's game. Paranormal Activity went on to become a very profitable franchise with films that have gotten even worse somehow. It became a titan of a franchise that has remained strong financially for years. So shouldn't it be easy to say Paranormal Activity has more charm? Well, not so fast. Although Paranormal Activity has made a ton of money and spawned several sequels, the Blair Witch Project has something in its corner. Would there even be a Paranormal Activity without the Blair Witch Project ever existing? I don't think so. When the Blair Witch Project released, it was looked at as a real event. People thought that what was going on the screen actually happened, and that was due to the found footage technique the film used. Several films owe the Blair Witch Project for its existence, and that includes Paranormal Activity. Without Blair Witch, I'm not sure we would have gotten any of the many found footage films we've seen over the years. If I had to give props to Blair Witch for Cloverfield existing, I guess it does have a remarkable charm. Point goes to Blair Witch. And your winner for the worst is Paranormal Activity. Yeah, I know I'll get some hate mail for this, but that's okay.
I'm sorry to everyone.
Make sure you subscribe for more and follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, do all that social media stuff, and prepare for the next battle where the last airbender goes up against Dragon Ball Evolution.